I am going to start us off, and hopefully everything's going to work. We're not going for a repeat of last week where everything crashed and fell upside down, and it was horrible. So, welcome to Roundtable 103, the recovery, we're calling it this week, where you get to catch up with the team of WNG and find out what we've been up to, find out the headaches we've been having, and the stressful and sleepless nights. And thank you, as usual, for spending a little bit of your Tuesday afternoon with us and allowing us to entertain you with wonderful tales of Ark and software and our woes and things like that. So, weekly maintenance will be tomorrow. Will be 9 a.m. as usual. How much have we got tomorrow? You got lots planned? Not a lot planned?
As far as the maintenance goes, it's just changes to our database for Ark.
Okay, so that we've got.
There are no updates or any config changes planned. We could still try and put that mod in that we were going to put in last week, and we totally forgot.
Was this the fog one?
Yes, this is.
Yeah, there's no way around it. It's Fista's anti-fog. Make of that what you will. That's what it's called, and we definitely didn't make that up. I'll leave that for a minute just to go through.
That's a very inappropriate gift.
No gifts with fisting in, please, at all. This has been recorded. Yeah, exactly. Children.
Extra wide camera there.
So before we
change the text shield color and opacity, yes, we'll get to questions at the end.
Am I missing questions? Where are we going?
Gunji.
Oh right, okay. That's too eager. Way too eager. We're still not in flow yet. So general news this week. Let's start here. We need to start somewhere. So firstly, thank you to all who since last week have subscribed and pledged their support. You guys absolutely rock. Thank you very much. Leading into, again, the big save is continuing. ASA approaches. For those of you who've been living under a rock, ASA is Ark Survival Ascended, which is the next iteration in UE5. As do a lot of other cool things, like we've got 821 for 7 days coming up, a whole host of potential fun with next-gen games. There's more and more stuff being announced every day. So we're currently saving up for our new hardware. If you can, please support. If you can't, that's absolutely fine. There are other ways to do so. Voting helps, that sort of stuff. And again, just before we move on to different things, I would like to thank again our moderators and admins who donate so much of their time supporting us. So to all of them, thank you very much also. Not forgotten, ever. So let's move on to the big news then, which is Discord changes. Which will give people some context into what we were rambling on about and name changes and all sorts of stuff. Do you want to go into what's happening with Discord?
I will do. Discord has brains have imploded.
They're not our friends at the moment. We do not like you, Discord. Okay, we hate you.
They have decided, to change the way users and bots have their names stored in Discord. So at the moment, you can have any name you want, and you just have a series of 4 numbers after it, and you can have the same name as somebody else, and the 4 numbers separate you from somebody else with the same name. They've decided that Twitter does it better, and everybody's username will have to be unique going forward.
Thanks, Elon.
Yeah.
We hate you too.
And the username will have to be letters or numbers, cannot be uppercase, and only 2 special characters, the underscore and the full stop. That's it. Users will be allowed to change their usernames based on how long they've been on Discord, how long they've had Nitro, and yeah, so over the next few months, they're going to start prompting people to pick a new username. If it's already taken, tough shit. Yeah, you'll have at usernames. It'll be fun. Yay. Then you will also have display names. So you will have two names, currently kind of similar to like what you have now, which is your main username and then your server name, which you can change independently. The display name is going to be, well, 1 to 32 characters long, and I believe it can include special characters, spaces, emojis, pretty much whatever you want. And I think it can be the same as somebody else's with no discriminator after it, which means people will not be able to tell who you are. Because you could have 10 Dark Jesters all on the same server with the same display name.
I was going to mention that actually. Those who are thinking of capturing our names, just please do DJs and not mine. That'd be awesome, thank you.
But I'm just like, what the fuck? Not only will this whole new system break every single piece of integration, bot, chat functionality, and all that other random shit that's out there, I think it's just going to lead to massive amounts of confusion. Especially as people start grabbing names that belong to other people, and yeah, it's going to be a mess.
However, like cockroaches, we will prevail.
So hang on, I think I've got some information here. They basically said, to quote them, "We want to make it easier for you to identify and add your friends while preserving your ability to use your preferred name across Discord. So we're removing the numbers, introducing unique usernames, at username, and display names. New usernames can be lowercase characters, numbers, or underscores or full stops, and they have to be unique. And display names, this is how you will appear on a server, can be anything within the Discord community guidelines: special characters, spaces, emojis, uppercase, lowercase, non-Latin characters. You can change your display name whenever you want, even from 1 minute to the next. And there is nothing about them being unique. Friend nicknames and server nicknames take priority over display names when they appear in an app. Yeah, I can't see anything that's going to make this good.
Well, we've got nearly 2,000 people on Discord. If we all changed our names to unique, that would be awesome, right? It would send a message.
So here's an example that they've provided of how it will look. I've put it in the stream chat, and if you look at that, your display name appears in the direct messages on the left-hand side. The display name appears in the chat, and I can only see one reference to your unique username on that screen at all. So I'm guessing if you change your display name to Dark Jester and somebody else changed their display name to Dark Jester, you would have to actually click on their profiles to figure out who is saying what.
The most serious thing wrong with that image is no dark mode.
Oh god, yeah, don't get me started on
that. That is so bad.
But yeah.
Fun times.
So I haven't really got much more to add to that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
There is absolutely nothing in here Yeah, it says display names are not unique to each user and can be set to whatever you want whenever you want. I mean, how they possibly think this is a good idea?
We can look forward to the reversal of it.
They wouldn't be able to. Once they've gone one way, it'll be a nightmare to go back. Everybody have to read all their bots again.
Yeah, as with everything, way to overcomplicate something that works fine already. Yeah.
Completely. I'm just absolutely blown away by this change. It's going to absolutely make Discord a mess. Does it? I'm wondering, will it show display names down the right hand side as well? I'm assuming it will because the example I just showed you had is your direct messages, and the display name is showing in the direct messages. I'm not actually seeing unique username in very many places at all. No. Anyway, it's going to cause us a massive headache as well because of all the chat integration and bot stuff that we have going on, and so expect things to get broken and fixed as quickly as possible, but it's going to be a nightmare.
And this is happening to bots too, so all the bots are also going to be having their own individual names, and if your name conflicts with another bot, it's fun times. Anyway, moving on to some slightly more positive stuff then, yeah?
Yeah, I'll give you all our links so you can all digest what the fuck is going on with Discord. There we go. Discord support article, new usernames and display names. Digest that, and if you spot anything that I've missed, please let me know because I'd really love to think I'm wrong.
Hopefully it won't be that bad.
We wanted to make it easier for you to identify and add your friends. The fuck? There's going to be like 10,000 Narnies in our Discord. I'll be like,
Naughty army!
Well, I think the good thing is, though, you can't add a display name. So if you wanted to talk to the real Nani or whatever, you would at Nani and it would send the message to Nani. But the impersonator would be called at something else. Oh, God. How many? I suppose, okay, fine. If you had the name Jack, then yes, it is entirely possible that there are over 9,999 Jacks on Discord. But yeah, adding an extra digit, not a problem. But you can do that now, can't you? So if I edited my server profile and I went Nani, save.
Ooh.
There we go. You can impersonate people now. So this isn't really helpful in any way. I don't know if you can all see that at the top of Discord on the top right. Oh dear, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
I have assimilated you.
Yeah. Yes, changes for the sake of changes, and it's going to break all sorts of things.
Yeah.
So, boom.
Yeah. From what I've read into it, the two guys who had originally designed it had this in mind all along, and it was something they'd never been able to do with time, and have now decided they're gonna. Anyway, shall we do some game updates?
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Some fun stuff that's actually happening. So we'll start with Rust because there's going to be a lot of Arc stuff later as well. So with Rust, White Day has happened. We're now live with the Cataclysm map. We have a whole new monument called the Missile Silo. That's a brand new thing that Facepunch have brought in with the new patch this month. So it's like a huge underground missile silo with an above ground part as well, with some guards, some snipers on some towers. It's really, really cool. It's very, very big, and it's loaded with loot. It's also the only place in the game you can get the new NVG night vision goggles hazmat suit that they've added. And for some reason, the NVG part of it doesn't actually seem to work. It is just a hazmat suit, but it does look freaking cool.
Oh, really?
It does look really, really cool. I like the suit, but they
Oh,
should really have made the night vision goggles workable, and I'm hoping somebody mods that because that would be so cool.
I've been spending some time in Rust, and I have a little base on the outskirts of one of the cities, and I'm actually liking the balance between the zombie feel and the post-apocalyptic kind of rundown city kind of vibe.
Yeah,
And it's exciting, but I haven't absolutely been mullered yet. Well, I did die like 11 times in one session. That was yesterday, but let's not talk about that. That was me because I, forgot to put my bedroll down straight after I built my first house. So I had
yeah.
to respawn like a billion times to get back to my base. But yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying this map actually. Yeah, please don't kill my base.
I really do like this map. This is one of the better ones. So
Mm.
we've spent the last few days going over that new monument. The new patch broke quite a lot of things. They made a lot of background changes to Rust, and everything went horribly on fire for a few minutes. The whole NPC rework to the new missile silo is now done, so the AI is there. The ability to be able to sneak up on them, that sort of things, that's all in now. Also added, they also added the new Adobe building skin in. So for those of you who don't know, once you've built your stone wall, they sell kind of DLC items so you can change the look of your walls. It is purely cosmetic, but the new Adobe stuff does actually look pretty damn good, especially the interior. So I've been looking at some ways to make this available to you guys without actually paying for the DLC. There's already some solutions starting to pop up. They need testing. Not sure if this is something Rust players care about. Does people who play, are you really caring about the looks of your buildings? If so, we can possibly sort this out. They also added some unique ammo skins for when you drop ammo on the ground, so no more lobbing some, 256 ammo to your mate to find out it's a little brown bag on the floor that looks exactly the same as the shotgun next to it. So all that has its own individual little ammo icons now when you drop ammo. That's really cool. The Thompson has had its spread looked at. It appears to be beef spread, and apparently should be way tighter, whatever that means. I've heard from Havoc that the Thompson does indeed feel a lot better to use, so check out the Thompson again. Apparently they've tightened it up a lot. It's a lot more accurate. Should be cool for an early game weapon. They also did some updates to the famous Rust Plus app. Anybody who remembers their first implementation of remote cameras and the Rust Plus app, so the ability to kind of use your mobile phone with an app on it to view cameras in your base and like pan around and look at who's coming, that sort of stuff. Yes, I said tighter. Don't. Yeah, I did. What they actually implemented was sort of like you could look through your phone and see like a blob on top of a blob. And if you were really lucky, you would see a blob running past and maybe some blob bullets shooting the blob, and then maybe the blob would turn into smaller blobs. I've heard they've made this a little bit better. I don't know if anyone's tried the Rust Plus app yet. I wouldn't expect miracles, but apparently it is better than it was. Time will tell. They've also added something really cool, which is going to be an event now near the end of the wipe. This is related to the nuclear missile silo, which I mentioned earlier. And we're going to be working towards coordinating our purges to the end of the wipe to make it much more cohesive for the player. So apparently towards the end of this wipe, if everything works correctly, you should start to see F-15s making flybys over the missile silo. They're planning on adding, and I quote, much more activity from NPCs across the map. It's obviously the first time we're going to see this to happen, so there's a learning curve on both sides here. I don't know what you're going to see in game. According to, I don't know how it's going to run with the way we've got the server tuned. But we're going to lean into this one. I think it's going to be a cool addition to events that lead into our Purge event, which is where players can kill each other's bases and have immense fun ready for next wipe. I've got an update to the UI coming really soon as well, possibly tomorrow. Since writing this, I have actually finished it. Including more details on how all our world events work and how to overcome them and grab your loot. So page we had in the UI was really, really short, and we had to cram like 6 events into that. What am I missing here? Agent Smith's made it into the chat.
Have you not noticed?
No, I've not noticed, but I've noticed the Matrix has entered the chat. What's going on?
Look at the who's in channel.
You're losing me completely. Who is in channel? Oh my god. Yeah, I'm seeing it. Right, okay. Jesus, it started. Going down to see how many
Just
we've got
just
now.
to make a point.
Yeah, totally. I'm unimpressed, may I
That's
say, but you know.
but unless they put restrictions on it, that's how it's going to end up.
It's going to get ridiculous. We're going to end up with a complete list of people who are called unique. It's just stupid. So back to my flow. The update of the UI. Had a word with the dev who makes the UI, and we've got him to add in some more tabs for us. So we're fleshing out the instructions for all of the different events on the server. We know there's a lot of them. They can be confusing. So check the UI in the coming couple of days, and you should see full instructions on how to run all the events if you haven't figured out how to do those already. We have a big kit and shop revamp coming next. I feel the kits could be better. They're not terrible, but they could definitely be better. And the shop for the reward points needs a hell of a lot of work. And to give RP a purpose, you get them from voting, you get them from playing, and there needs to be much more for you to do with your RP points. So that's coming soon as well. And then finally, after that's finished, I think that puts us in a good place to actually start advertising, expanding the community, and moving on. Bringing in much more player feedback and getting to grips with what it is that players feel should change. Once that goes underway, it's going to be things like working on fine NPC tuning, locations, clothing, weapon names, making it like a full custom experience with NPCs looking much more at home in their environment with, names that kind of indicate they should be there, that sort of thing, making the game look a lot nicer. And then finally, sort of down the road, I also want to start looking at making our own custom maps rather than cycling through pre-done maps or maps we've purchased. I want us to make our own experience. I've got lots and lots of ideas where we'd like to go with Rust, and we're constricted because we're relying on third parties. So eventually move into our own custom stuff for Rust. It's going to be exciting.
I have a question.
Go for it.
So we can vote for the Rust server like we can for Ark and get perks, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do we do that? Because I was voting for the server, but it wasn't registering.
All the information for that should be in the /info menu in game.
Huh?
The link is in there as well. If you click the little link with the vote site, it actually gives you a piece of paper in game that you can use as an item.
Yeah.
And on that piece of paper is a URL that you can actually copy and paste properly and stick it into a browser and vote for the site. Once you get your vote done, you go back into the game and you type /claim. And that will give you your 25 reward points for your vote for the day. We are planning on adding more vote sites, the same as Ark, so you'll be able to amass more points quicker.
Can you vote on the site independently, and then when you next log into the game the same day, just hit claim and away you go?
You can indeed, yes.
Awesome.
So it works exactly the same as Ark. They will store your vote their side. You run your /claim in game that day when you log in, and it will go away and retrieve your vote. And so far, I haven't had a dud vote from the Rust sites. The same.
2 seconds. I need to log in and claim before mine expires.
Yeah. So, yeah, vote points, reward points are going to become a lot more useful. I want to put way more stuff on the store for people to buy with the points, meaning the same as the Arc cluster. As you play, you accrue. As you do things, you do the events, you accrue more. We will have bosses in soon, exactly the same as Arc. And again, stuff to do with points. I don't feel like it should be as restricted as it is at the moment. We have roughly, 6 PvP days where bases can be raided per month, one of which is at the end of the wipe anyway. So I don't think it's going to be Cleam. Yes, Cleam.
Cle, Cle,
Claim. Or Cleam, apparently, as chat is currently.
Just to clarify, I'm assuming that's. Well, you can't do claim because that claims a ticket. No, I don't want to claim the ticket.
There we
Go
go.
away.
It's Sandy's fault. It's all Sandy's fault.
Hang on.
You get your claim in, and then we'll move on to some art news. I've extended it a little bit since we talked this morning.
Carry on with some Arc news.
Okay, so
Fill in for that.
my first point with Arc starts with time. Time is being a pain. There's been a bunch going on with Rust recently. The new patch, as we've just been talking about, it broke the world for a little while. DJ's been very, very hard at work getting our final version of GameBridge out onto our website, and then learning that Discord was going to be changing all of the naming conventions and possibly losing hair overnight. Also working on, a full PHP update, software update, and the achievements that have been going into the site. So it's been kind of a tough week. So it's stuff that is necessary to go on in the background that builds the foundation that we use for everything, basically, here. So with that in mind, we're going to touch on the two big things being mentioned to us nearly every day of the week now. The first one is Gaia. He's in the chat, please. I know people have been waiting for Gaia. You're going to get all excited now, and I'm going to dash your hopes again.
Yeah.
Nothing has been done yet with Gaia. It's still awaiting some last touches, like XP curves, a little bit of engram rearranging, and some polishing. It's not necessarily a huge job, but because we've just literally had the subs go through and it was the first of the month, we needed to get the new website system in, tested, and working very, very quickly. So things have kind of caught up with us, and Gaia is still on top of the priority list, but nothing much been done this week with Gaia. Who's in the chat, please? Raidable bases. Small update to raidable bases. As of today, I can confirm the lab, which is the big boy, is now finished. Yay! It is awaiting some code changes from the developer, as we said, and those have been confirmed and are being looked at. But when it's done, and as soon as we get those changes, it's a very, very short sequence to actually get that base live. For the smaller bases, we have 3 now, really cool bases. Nugget's done an outstanding job on those. I can't honestly say I'm really excited to see what people think of these new smaller bases. And I'll be talking to Nugget either tonight or tomorrow as to how we proceed. We had a chat about that earlier, and we know where we're going now. So theoretically, the lower end bases are really close. But bases don't work yet.
We will also be looking at a select team of, I don't know, 4 or 5 players who would like to help us play test the largest base we've got. But it does mean you will have to be sworn to secrecy, and we will expect feedback from you.
Yeah. Pretty soon, I'm sure there's going to be not just a big, but a few bases that will need testing, and we will need guinea pigs. Player feedback is always good. Let us know what you think. Some are really cool. Some are so ingenious that I personally wouldn't have come up with it. The big one is going to be really cool. You volunteer as a tribute. Tom Solo's big base. That's going to be the next video, I think.
Or not.
Or not, as the case may be, yes. So I'm sure we'll find some way of communicating anyway. And yes, we are going to need a team to test the big base, because that's pretty much ready to go. And at the rate Nugget's going, I'm fairly sure the smaller ones are going to be ready to go fairly soon as well. So that's raidable bases. Then there's some stuff going to be going on tomorrow regarding quests. So the first change here is a reset to quest tracking. So splitting this up between achievements, tracking, that sort of stuff, we've got 3 different points to discuss here, along with the cleanup of players. So we're starting with quest tracking, a clean slate so that all the achievements are basically going to be starting tomorrow. Tell us a bit more about what's going on with the clean slate tomorrow.
So,
and why?
On our website now, will do. On our website now, you have a section in the site under my accounts called Arc Player Info. And on that page, it tells you some stats about your player. It tells you what's in-game icons you've unlocked for your Arc character. It tells you what your daily and weekly quests are if you've logged in and picked them up, and you pick them up automatically. And then it also has a list of, I would almost say, Steam-like achievements below. At the moment, the achievements go from the island all the way up to Genesis 1, final boss. And as you kill those bosses, it will unlock that achievement for you. It will award you some points and some XP, and it'll record the date you unlock that. And it also records what percentage of the cluster has also got that achievement as well. And if you're in like the top 5%, it's a gold achievement. If you're below that, you get a silver one. So to put everybody on an even footing, because I've been deploying this over the last few weeks, I'm going to reset all the tracking on the achievements, which will mean as of Wednesday morning, nobody will have any achievements on our website, and it will start tracking from fresh. You should set the quest where if you do the alpha, it counts for beta and gamma. Nope.
It's a progression thing. At least you get the credit then for all 3.
What I could do is I could lock them all in sequence so that you have to do the first one to be able to get the second one to be able to get the third one.
Hold on that idea. I think that's cool.
Yeah. And I could do that for each map. So rather than you could choose which map you start on, but before you can do before you can unlock the alpha achievement, you've got to do gamma and beta, that kind of thing.
heavy nose there. No.
You'd still have to do them anyway if you wanted to collect all of them. Yeah, I do too. I like that idea. I'm going to tweak it a little bit.
Exactly. You got to catch them all.
Exactly. So then, as time goes by, the process for adding more achievements is fairly straightforward for us. So I will keep adding the bosses from all the other maps, including the DLC non-canon maps. And then we will also be throwing in some other achievements as well, including world boss achievements. And the rewards improve a little bit as you go up the tiers of bosses you're killing, by the way. There are, I think, say there's 20 achievements. There's probably 320s. There's probably well over 100,000 worth of fed shards to glean from that, plus some significant levels.
When you look at it that way, you see 3 achievements with fed shards attached. Isn't that better? Surely.
Oh, totally. So yes, so we will be resetting that element of the tracking.
Yeah.
The second part of that as well is if you notice on your Arc Player info page at the moment, and you do happen to have one of the or you see that the achievements down the bottom, it'll say something like 0.22% of the players have this achievement. That is correct. The reason being is because it's logged every single player since we put stat tracking in. And we have had about just over 4,500 unique players come through the cluster. So I'm going to be deleting some of those. Anybody that is has not logged in the last 60 days, who is not a supporter, so tier 1, 2, or 3, or is not an admin, is going to have all their stats removed from our system. So yes, your achievement tracking is there now, Fino, but it will be reset as of Wednesday morning, tomorrow morning, and everyone will be on the same footing for getting achievements.
It'll be a lot more accurate from tomorrow.
So I'll be deleting data from the database for the older players. Now, we did some stuff earlier, and it's a question we get quite a lot is how many players do you have on the cluster? Because you guys only get to see who's online right now. So right now there's 49 people playing on the cluster, on the Arc cluster anyway. And yeah, that kind of looks, I don't know, it's not our highest number, it's not our lowest number. That's just kind of like fine for a Tuesday evening kind of thing. But I did some digging into some more numbers just to sanity check what's going on our wonderful Arc cluster. And let me just have a quick look, make sure I don't run the database query to delete everyone. So here we go. So in the last 30 days, we have had 604 unique players online. Out of that, let's have a look to see how many that was in the last 7 days. So this is different people who have logged onto the cluster and played. In the last 7 days, that's 280 players. So I would say if somebody's logged in the last 7 days, they're probably active. So we actually have 280 different players kicking about on the server in the last week. In the last month, that goes up to 600. And then over that, I don't count it unless they're like a tier 1, 2, or 3 supporter, or they're on holiday or something like that. There will also be a button on that page once you're logged in, so that you can then share your player information, post a link to your profile in Discord or on social or whatever, and it will then let other people see your achievements. Exciting. And then the last bit as well is we're going to have, I don't know, or did you have a note to lead into this?
Yeah, go on. Go ahead.
Well, we're talking about deleting things.
That's the next upcoming thing, actually. So go right ahead.
Cool. So while we're at optimizing our database and deleting things, we're also, every player that's ever been on the cluster as well or visited a map has a player file. There's like thousands of these player files kicking around, and when we have to do a save or a backup, when we have to do a backup, we have to copy all those player files, and that takes a bit of time because it's lots and lots and lots of small files. So we're going to clean up old player files as well. Again, probably going to use the same criteria. Anybody who's not a supporter, who hasn't logged in the last 60 days, their stuff will have decayed, but if they did come back to the cluster and log back in, they would have a character at the level it was when they left. But we're actually going to clean all of that out too. So we're going to start deleting old players who have not been around. That should help with our performance when it comes to the periodic backups that we run on the cluster that people notice. Software developer, what you said gives me heart palpitations.
Which bit?
Which bit, Jack? while we're on names, if I can you guys change server names? Your name on the server.
Yes.
Yes, put in a ticket, fill in your stuff like your Steam ID, and we will change your name.
No problem.
Chris asked, while we're on the topic of Ark and we're doing a few questions, is there any chance that the structure and dino limits could be increased? It's just for larger tribes, it can be quite restricting. I hate to say it, Chris, but that's the intention, unfortunately. You need to get more economical with your builds and more economical or cleverer with the way you breed and use your dinos. Simply because, as I just alluded to, with over 600 different players on in the last month and over 200 players a week coming through the cluster and playing actively, if they all had bases that were 4,000 blocks and 75 dinos and decided, I know what, let's build all that on the two most popular maps on the server, we wouldn't have a server anymore. Now imagine we up those limits and say, okay, guys, you can have 8K bases like we used to. It becomes totally not viable on a heavily modded server. That's the only reason the limits are in place. So if we took all of our active players for this week, 200 players, and they all built, I don't know, 8K bases and all had 150 dinos out, we couldn't run it. I'll be straight up with you, nobody could run it, not with all the mods and stuff that we've got. Maybe on vanilla, that would be fine, but it just wouldn't work for us. And that's unfortunately, the limits we've got to are, we feel, are as large as they can be without overly restricting people. There's quite a few maps, so you could have a breeding base on one map. You could have a resource base on another map. You could, put your dinos away after you've used them, that kind of stuff. But having 75 dinos out, and it's fine. Shouldn't hinder your breeding programs. Not too much, anyway.
Kind of a fine balance between limiting players or limiting structures and dinos, and the community that exists is pretty decent. So it's just a fine balance. We've been down that road before, and it was horrific. It was way worse. Things improved a lot.
Yeah, we had less players, or less concurrent players, and we had much higher structure counts, almost double what we had now, and double the number of dinos that you could have out at any one time. And on a clean map, that was fine, wasn't a problem. But then once everybody moved all out onto a popular map or Fjordjaw launched or something, it just, not fun.
Breeding snails. Put all speed into them and breed turbo snails.
So we've got a lot of maintenance to do, and yes, as Jack says, thinking about the sheer amount of random player files that are just sat there getting backed up every day. It's not the size of the files that's the problem, it's the sheer quantity of them and the random reads and writes.
The compression we use as well handles bigger files way better than it does a lot of smaller files. It's just the way it works. So it's going to save quite a bit of time, I think.
So we've got database work to do tomorrow. We've got loads of files to clean up. We've got achievements to be reset, and we've got a bunch of work to do to prepare for the changes to Discord.
Yeah.
Yay!
We'll get the new Rust UI in tomorrow, and then some serious work started on raidable bases as well. Putting all the back end together, making sure it all works so we can turn them over as fast as possible.
So
Hopefully, good news on raidables next week, eh?
what I would say for the raidable base thing is the big base that we have, the one that Scorp's put his life, heart, and soul into, that we want you guys to wreck. We do need a team of players for that that are players, not admins, to run through and test it for us. So genuinely, people who want to try out the new raidable endgame base, I would like some volunteers in the feedback channel, please, for ARC. If you can't type in the feedback channel for ARC, you're probably not ready to do it. Would be my first thought.
This is probably going to be a
Yes.
test server scenario as well, rather than the live server scenario. Or are we planning this on the event server?
Now we can run it on the event server.
Okay.
Because players can go over there and then we can travel over afterwards. We're not blocked by the limits.
Yeah. What I would like to say, though, is if you put your name forward, we are kind of expecting, once you've run through, a full breakdown of what's gone on, suggestions and things. So it's not kind of like, give me this, I want the loot. It's kind of, there will be some feedback afterwards. That would be lovely. That's what we're after.
We want to be able to make sure it's balanced and tune it appropriately for endgame geared badasses.
There's definitely a mute next to you, Jack. Don't worry.
Yeah, there is. No, it's fine. We can spectate. Or we can just follow you around with Leave Me Alone switched on. It won't be a bother for us. No, we'll drag you into voice chat and you can tell us all about it. We can take notes.
Yeah, we'll set up a little tete-a-tete where a group gets to run it and we'll all be on hand and take feedback, be in voice.
I mean, I think the incentive for running it will be, one, there'll be a great dungeon. You'll have contributed towards building an awesome challenge, and two, obviously you get some goodies at the end of it, because there's stuff in this base that you can't get on the cluster yet. Ooh, you all say.
Is that actually true, Sandy? If that is true, I might know why that is.
No, I hear you from both sides of my headset.
Okay, so it's not my mono settings then.
No.
Maybe one side of your headset is broken, Sandy.
So yes, we need a team to run the first raidable base. You guys have got to be prepared to die and give us feedback and get some awesome rewards for doing it, and stay silent about your experience to the rest of the cluster until we make it available for everybody to do. The other set, cool, brilliant. I will look at feedback after the thing. The other set of raidable bases we've got, they need our internal tuning and loot pools putting in, but they look amazing.
They really do.
And they are very different to what you expect. Just to set everybody straight, our raidable bases are not PvP turret soak fests. I mean, yes, there are turrets in them, and there are turrets in some of the harder ones, but it won't be you come up against a base and there's 150 turrets pointing at you, and you've got to sit there on, kind of like your stego soaking the turrets for half an hour just to get anywhere. They are designed to be dungeons that are done on foot and with players geared to the appropriate level of the base.
Yeah.
You can run bases that are way easy for you, but the rewards won't be rewarding for you. But there will be achievements for running them. So you will want to do all of them, but hey.
Cool. They're very varied and very unique. And honestly, they're really, really cool. Any more questions before we end for the evening? Is there anything you absolutely
So,
have to know?
Yep. Hit us up with the questions in chat, and we'll try and answer them. Agent Smith has been defeated. Neo came to the cluster and kicked him off. Yes, we didn't progress any Gaia work last week at all due to number of things all kicking off at once. And also due to the fact that we've had 2 holiday weekends in a row now. And yes, while we love sitting in front of our computers with downtime, we actually don't want to be doing WNG stuff all the time.
Where's my 1 bill?
Demolish a honey roasted salami pizza and sleep. Oh, that sounds nice. Well, trying to have a work-life balance. Okay. I think that's it.
Having an issue with taming credits. That goes for the master zoologist, but also dog sitter for Fred.
Taming in game for the. I know what you mean. I found that to be a bit funky as well. But what did I do to get around it? I think I just switched maps and tamed the thing again. But I did as many of my give up on Master Zoologist. Funnily enough, I got that the other day. Excitement. Well, ignore Steam achievements. Ours are going to be much better, and they'll actually work. Actually, saying that, I haven't tested them all. Good. But yes, we can have crafting achievements, taming achievements, killing achievements, all sorts of weird and wonderful achievements. I could also, in fact, we could do. Do we ask the community to name an achievement?
Name an achievement. That'd be a good one, though.
Yeah, like Boaty McBoatface or something.
Oh my god!
Kill.
How you said it.
Craft 500 rafts. No, it doesn't, Tom, unfortunately. Yeah, exactly. Build 10 motorboats and get the Boaty McBoatface achievement. You know, I'm going to put 1 PvP achievement in there. Funnily enough, we can actually do an achievement for total number of deaths. I've got to do that, actually, yeah. Yes, we will have achievements for Indom eggs. We already thought of that one. Maybe that's it. We do like suggestions on naming the achievements that you get for crafting all the Indom eggs. Oh, this is good. This is good. We can do a little competition next week. I'm already thinking ahead.
The Indomitable, that would be the one for collecting all the eggs, right?
Yeah.
That would be the top one, Indomitable. Yeah.
Yeah, a player kill achievement on a PvE server. We can do that. Anyways, I think we'll call it an evening there. So good solid hour.
Yeah.
We've got some downtime to enjoy, and we've got an early start tomorrow.
Yay.
Yeah, 3,000 deaths, you get the achievement, and you unlock a golden gravestone. How about that?
We call it the Undying.
Yeah. And then you can put that in your base.
Or Tombstone.
Actually, I would. You know what I'd use? Trophies from Survival of the Fittest. Because you get it, you've died 3,000 times, so you get the Survival of the Fittest trophy, which you can then put up in your base, and nobody else would have them because you can't get them anywhere else on the server, on the cluster.
Friendly fire, that's another good one. Not sure we can track that, but that's cool.
Cool, right.
Okie dokie then. We'll wrap it up there. We have been
We
the
will
Wicked
indeed.
Ninjas. You have all, as always, been awesome. Have a great Tuesday night, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Say goodbye, Fred. You're not going to talk now. Goodbye. No.
Oh, Gunji's got a tech shield question.
Uh-oh.
Yes, somebody asked about painting the tech shield. I will answer that. Paint it. Get some paint, slap it on the shield.
The old paintbrush.
Yep. Quick, Greg. Look, Greg. Yes, wow, really. Paint your tech shield. Pink. Pink with yellow spots. And then put a sign outside your base saying, Mr. Blobby, 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 Blobby. Oh, yes, we can offer whatever rewards we want for achievements. So who knows what you might get as you unlock more and more. Yeah, you just get them in a ball. Just so people don't get too excited, the standard achievements I've put in are the boss kills for all the storyline maps up to and including Genesis 1. I will be adding many more, and they are easy to add. And we can customize the rewards for each one. Not saying what's been. Why not Gen 2? Because I haven't got around to that one yet. Yes, it's stuff. The stuff is automatically awarded to you. Points, XP, that kind of thing. Items. Cool. Right, I'm out of here.
Yep, we're out. It's time for some division, I think. See you guys next week.
Bye bye.